In 2001, a man bought a wine cabinet at an estate sale in Portland, Oregon. Within weeks, he was having nightmares so violent he would wake up with bruises. His hair was falling out. The people around him were getting sick. Everyone who came into prolonged contact with this box reported the same thing, the same nightmare, the same shadowy figure, the same overwhelming sense of dread. He sold it. The next owner's health deteriorated. The next owner after that reported the same. This object has now passed through multiple hands, been studied, been locked away, and been the subject of a horror film. It is called the Dybbuk box, and whether you believe in the supernatural or not, what happened to the people who owned it is genuinely difficult to explain. The story begins with a woman named Havila, a Holocaust survivor who emigrated to the United States after World War II. She lived in Portland, Oregon, for decades, and when she died at the age of 103, her family held an estate sale. Among her belongings was a small wine cabinet, a simple wooden box with a sliding panel door. Kevin Manis, a furniture dealer and craftsman, bought the cabinet at the estate sale. He tried to speak with Havila's granddaughter about it, and her reaction was immediate and intense. She told him the box had been kept in a specific place and was never, ever to be opened. When Manis asked if she wanted it back, she said no. Emphatically. She did not want it in her home. Inside the box, Manis found a strange collection of items, two 1920s pennies, a small granite statue engraved with the Hebrew word shalom, a dried rosebud, a golden wine cup, a lock of blonde hair bound with cord, and a lock of dark hair bound with cord. There was also a candle holder with octopus-shaped legs. In Jewish mystical tradition, specifically in Kabbalistic thought, a Dybbuk is a malicious spirit, the dislocated soul of a dead person that clings to the living. It attaches to objects, to places, to people. A Dybbuk box is a container meant to trap such a spirit, to contain it. Whether Havila believed the box held a Dybbuk, or whether she was using it in some other spiritual practice, we cannot know. But the instruction was clear: do not open it. Manis opened it. What happened next has been documented by Manis himself in considerable detail, and later corroborated by subsequent owners. I want to be transparent, this is a case where the evidence is entirely testimonial. There is no laboratory proof that a wooden box can cause nightmares. But the consistency of the accounts across multiple unrelated people is what makes this case unusual. Manis gave the cabinet to his mother as a birthday gift. On the day she received it, she suffered a stroke. She lost the ability to speak. When she could communicate again, she spelled out, letter by letter, HATEGIFT. She never recovered fully. He gave it to other people. Each one returned it, usually within days, reporting the same thing: an overpowering smell of cat urine and jasmine, nightmares involving an old hag figure, and a sense of being watched. His shop employees refused to be alone with it in the room. Manis himself began experiencing the nightmares. The same figure. An old woman, not moving normally, jerking, contorted, always at the edge of his vision. He would wake up with bruises he could not explain. He said he felt physically drained, as if something was pulling energy from him. His hair began to thin. He sold the box on eBay in 2003. The listing described the box and its effects honestly. It went viral before viral was really a concept. The buyer was a man named Jason Haxton, the director of a medical museum in Missouri. Before I tell you what happened to Jason Haxton and what happened when he had the box scientifically tested, if stories like this keep you up at night, you are exactly the kind of person who should be subscribed to Mind Trap. We go where logic meets the unexplained. Hit subscribe, tap the bell, and let us keep going. Jason Haxton is not a casual collector. He is a medical professional, a museum director, and someone who approached the box with a researcher's mindset. He purchased it specifically to investigate the claims. And then the same things started happening to him. Nightmares. The same old hag figure. Welts and rashes on his skin that appeared without cause. His health declined measurably. He developed a hacking cough, eye irritation, and what he described as a persistent, irrational anxiety that started the day the box arrived at his home. Haxton consulted with rabbis knowledgeable in Kabbalistic tradition. They examined the box and the items inside. Their assessment was consistent with the Dybbuk concept. The box was a containment vessel, and whatever was contained had been disturbed when Manis opened it. One rabbi performed a ritual to reseal the spirit inside. But Haxton did not stop there. He had the box examined more rigorously. The wood was tested and found to be consistent with materials available in Eastern Europe in the early 20th century. The items inside were authentic to the period. The pennies dated to the 1920s. The hair was real human hair. He also reached out to other owners, people who had possessed the box before Manus and after him. The pattern was consistent across every single person. The nightmares. The health problems. The smell. The shadow figure. People who had no contact with each other, who lived in different states, who had no reason to coordinate a story, all described the same experience. Haxton eventually had the box sealed by a rabbi using a traditional Kabbalistic binding ritual. He then placed it in a location he has not publicly disclosed, where it remains today, or at least, where he says it remains. He has spoken about it in interviews and wrote a book about the experience. He has declined to reveal the box's current location, saying he does not want anyone else to open it. In 2012, Sam Raimi produced a horror film called The Possession, loosely based on the Dybbuk box story. It grossed over $80 million worldwide. The story entered mainstream culture, and with it came the inevitable wave of skepticism. Let me be fair to the skeptical position, because it deserves to be heard. There is no scientific mechanism by which a wooden box can cause nightmares, illness, or psychological disturbance. Suggestion is a powerful force. If you are told an object is cursed and you believe curses are possible, your mind can produce symptoms. The nocebo effect, the opposite of placebo, where negative expectations produce negative outcomes, is well documented in medical literature. People who believe they are exposed to something harmful will sometimes develop real, measurable symptoms. Kevin Manus himself complicated the narrative in 2021. In a creative writing piece, he suggested that parts of his original account were fictional or embellished, that he had crafted a compelling story to sell a piece of furniture on eBay, and it got away from him. He later walked back some of that statement, saying the core experiences were real but some details were dramatized. This admission muddied the waters significantly. But here is what the skeptics have to account for. Jason Haxton is not Kevin Manus. Haxton is a credentialed professional who approached the box as a researcher and documented his experiences in real time. The subsequent owners who reported identical symptoms had no contact with each other. And the symptoms, specifically the consistent description of the same nightmare figure by unrelated people, are harder to attribute to suggestion alone, particularly for owners who purchased the box without knowing its history. Either every person who owned this box independently fabricated or imagined the same specific experience, or something about this object triggers a consistent psychological or physiological response that we do not currently have a framework to explain. Neither option is comfortable. The Dybbuk box is currently sealed and hidden. Jason Haxton has stated that he will not sell it, will not display it publicly, and will not allow it to be opened again. Zach Bagans of the Travel Channel reportedly purchased it and placed it in his haunted museum in Las Vegas, though the specifics of the transfer are disputed. What we know is this. A wooden box from a Holocaust survivor's estate has passed through at least a dozen hands. Nearly every person who spent significant time with it reported the same cluster of symptoms. One man's mother had a stroke the day she received it. Multiple people experienced the same specific nightmare independently. A medical museum director with no incentive to fabricate documented his own declining health in real time after acquiring it. And the box itself, whatever it is, sits somewhere sealed with wax and bound with ritual, waiting. I want to know where you land on this. Genuine paranormal object, elaborate hoax that got out of hand, or the nocebo effect playing tricks on susceptible minds? And here is the real question: if someone offered you the Dybbuk box for free, would you take it? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. I will see you in the next one. Estimated runtime, 11 to 13 minutes at natural speaking pace. SEO title suggestion, The Dybbuk Box, the most haunted object on Earth. True story, tags, Dybbuk Box, haunted objects, paranormal, Kevin Manus, Jason Haxton, The Possession, Mind Trap, supernatural, cursed objects, Jewish mysticism.